Liberty, Liberty. Locked on Women's Basketball starts now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Friday night to you from deep inside the Emerge Fieldhouse. I'm Howard Megdal, welcoming you to Locked On Women's Basketball. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. Of course, more than 350,000 of you show up 6 days a week. Not just that anymore, of course, team-specific podcasts as well. It's not just me, it's the incredible team. I'm with so many of them here at thenexthoops.com, where we cover over 100 reported pieces on women's basketball every single month. Make sure you subscribe. $9 a month, $72 a year. It all gets delivered right to your inbox. I had someone tell me today the Saturday show with Emily and Hunter and Lincoln feels like Saturday to her. Made me really happy to hear among a lot of our people. It's a really wonderful place to be. And it was a really wonderful place to be, especially if you were a member of the New York Liberty tonight. Natasha Cloud wins the skills competition. Sabrina Ionescu wins the three-point contest. I want to hear from each of them. Just a brief introduction about this. Natasha Cloud winning this competition feels like a big deal. I mean, the final two were Tosh and Erica Wheeler. These are two veterans. These are two people I've had the privilege of covering for over a decade. These are two people for whom, and I've talked about this on the podcast, we talked about it with the CBA, the top salaries are ultimately going to need to go up. Rookie scale is going to need to go up. The middle class needs to not get left behind. And so it was really striking to me what Tosh had to say about this. Let's listen to her and then talk a little bit about it. Tosh, front row center. Hey Tosh, congrats on the house. The significance of having you and Erica in that final, a couple of veterans who have not necessarily had the same kind of publicity that we've seen from some other players. Just, what do you think it means to have the both of you doing this on, such a prominent night for the WNBA?
I think it's the same sentiment of if you can see it, you can be it. And I think that Erica and I really represent a different. There's always tiers, and there's no problem with tiers. There's the 1%, there's the rookies. We can even talk into like our CBA, right? Yeah. But that middleman who makes up the majority of our league is often forgotten about. So to be here tonight with Erica as a representation of those middlemen, middle women, right, is really cool for us. Especially for those players that really just do their work and their role every single night. And they do it to the best of their ability, whether they get the thanks they deserve or the flowers they deserve. They just know that that's their job, and that's their job every single night. So I think we both represent that. I think there's a lot of people in our league that represent that. And I think it's always cool to make sure that we're showing the middleman, middlewoman the love.
Thank you, Tom. Really interested to see what the numbers were on ratings for this. But the bottom line is that a lot of people got to see and get to know and understand a little more about who Natasha Cloud, Erica Wheeler were. Tosh went to St. Joe's. Erica Wheeler went to Rutgers. These are not necessarily powerhouse programs, although we could have a whole different conversation about the Vivian Stringer years over at Rutgers. And so really significant to see Natasha Cloud get this moment in the spotlight. It was obviously meaningful for her. I said congrats on the house because she's using this as a down payment for a house she's buying with Izzy Harrison. She shared with us after the game. Again, these players, they have not made a lot of money in their basketball careers, and what's coming and what's ahead, they're still around in the league and they're able to share in it. But it really matters that they get the attention and they get the money that goes along with it. So again, congrats to Natasha Cloud. Wonderful to see. We talk about what Sabrina Ionescu's victory meant. After this, I'm Howard Megdal, and you're listening to Locked On Women's Basketball. Locked On Women's Basketball is brought to you by Game Time. And as you probably know, we've all been there. My daughter has some pop artist taste, my older daughter. So you log on early, you wait forever to see the concert tickets go on sale, and then you lose your spot for the show you've been either trying to see or want your daughter to be able to go see. Live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping. That's where Game Time comes in. Game Time makes getting tickets easier and faster than ever. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to game time, at showtime, I should say, and you can save up to 60% off with last minute deals. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets and show tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked On NBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON NBA for $20 off. Download Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Howard Megdal here with Locked On Women's Basketball. And let's just talk about Sabrina Ionescu. Went out there, had 25 points in the first round, got herself to the final, took it to another level, scored 30 in the final. Alicia Ray, you could see, was watching in real time, said, I can't compete with this. And she's the defending champ. She's one of the best three-point shooters in recent memory in the WNBA. And then after the game, Sabrina's asked about, well, what about your record? What about your all-time mark? What about the numbers you put up when you went up against Steph Curry? And I just, the thing that kept running through my head as I was watching Sabrina, and I think about this often, is she's one of the greatest shooters I've ever seen. We're not going to be able to talk about the great shooters in the history of the game of basketball without talking about Sabrina Ionescu. So I just asked her about what she thinks this moment and moments like these do for her legacy. I really loved her answer. Let's take a listen.
Staying in the front row to your left.
Sabrina, congratulations. You know that in the history of basketball, when we talk about shooters, when we talk about legacy, that part of the way people measure it is things like these three-point contest wins and performances like this. And I just wonder, have you taken time to think about what doing things like this, what you did in 23, you know, the battle with Steph is going to mean for the way people think of you as a shooter in the history of this game?
I mean, I haven't thought too much about that. I think I just remember being a kid and always watching, these events and finding my favorite shooter just by watching. And I want to be able to be that person that, can show up when the time permits and be a part of All-Star Weekend and kind of showcase to the world like how you can believe in yourself, how you can put the work in, and whether you win or not, like it takes guts to be able to go out there when the lights are the brightest and it's just you and in front of all the crowd to go out there and shoot. And you got to believe in yourself and you got to, kind of fight your own demons when you get out there to stay positive. And I think for me, I hope it shows all, the young kids, young boys and girls from obviously the W All-Star, but also the one I did with Steph. Like, you just got to believe in yourself, put the work in, and don't be afraid to go out there and put yourself at risk of failure.
Thanks. It's so telling, all the things she's saying. She shared with us that she gets nervous before this stuff. And she's doing that for the same reason she just gave that answer, right? She's doing it not because she wants people to get nervous, but because she wants these young kids who are watching her to know she gets nervous too, and she overcomes it. And she shoots like Sabrina Ionescu after she does it. And I have an 11-year-old daughter here, and she and my wife are here enjoying being fans as I do this work, and it's work I love and I never take for granted. But it was something else to hear the joy in my daughter's voice. She's a Sabrina fan and has a Sabrina jersey, and went to WNBA Live and met Sabrina today and got an autograph and was so excited to go see her perform. And you could see this was in real time just what Sabrina was talking about, that here's somebody who wants to show to kids what is possible. And Sabrina has stretched the definition of what is possible again and again in her career. She's not even close to 30. I mean, there's so much more to go. She's doing the thing she set out to do. Natasha Cloud spoke about the difficulty of having all the pressure on you, the type of pressure on you where you win a 3-point contest and you get asked about a previous contest where you shot even better. That's pressure. And that's what Sabrina Ionescu rises up to again and again. So my final thoughts on this night were it was a wonderful one for the WNBA. I think they could stand to have it be a little longer, the skills competition. I think you could either go to a third round of, let's say, 8 instead of 5 and do it that way. Or alternatively, I'm just going to put this out there, and if it happens, I'll be delighted. Knockout. Every All-Star plays knockout to end the night. You heard it here first. That's my idea. That's our show for tonight. Really appreciate you joining me. Always, we will be with you tomorrow. It's All-Star Saturday. Cannot wait to celebrate it with all of you. Until then, I'm Howard Megdal, wishing all of you a wonderful night.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.